Let's take a look at the Impact Analysis Report. It's under the Document menu. Now, this report will let you select any metadata asset, and then it will show you how that asset is connected to all of the other assets in your org. So, for example, if you're planning to change a particular asset, you could select that as your starting point and see how those changes will impact other assets. Or maybe you want to create an entity relationship diagram. Then you can select any asset as the starting point for the diagram. Let's select a custom object and move on to the next tab. Now on the next tab, you can select all of the metadata types that you want to include in the report over here at right. We've pre-selected some of the most popular types for you, but there's nothing wrong with selecting all 250 different metadata types. We can report on all of those, and this report is aware of over 1,200 different relationships between the assets, so you will definitely see everything that the selected asset can impact. Now on the next tab, we actually draw the entity relationship diagram for the selected asset, in this case a custom object. And we can see that there's two other assets that reference the custom object, and the custom object references a queue. Now, what do we mean by reference? So over here is a custom field that's from a child object that links to the parent object. If we double click on this asset, you'll see the reference to field has the name of the parent in the asset. So that's what we mean by a reference. Now you can expand this tree as much as you want. So for example, this custom object is linked to a queue, and the queue is linked to 4 other custom objects, 2 groups, and a role, and we can keep expanding the tree as much as we want and see how everything is related to everything else. On the Display Report tab, we show the selected asset, everything that references the selected asset, and then everything that the selected asset depends on over here to the right. As usual, you can export this report in a variety of formats or go to the last tab and schedule the report to be delivered at any time. Let's look at some of the advanced features of the Impact Analysis Report. So one thing you can do is you can select any asset and right-click and choose Trace Path. And what this will show you is how this asset is impacted by the selected asset. And the tree works in both directions. So for example, this custom field is referenced by these page layouts. You could right-click one of these and trace the path and see how the page layout refers to the selected asset. So another thing you can do is right-click any one of these assets and choose Go Here. So let's go to this lead. And now we see all of the assets, Apex classes, email templates, and other things that refer to this lead. I can choose any one of these, for example, a Flexi page, and go here and see everything that the Flexi page is related to. Or I could go back to the lead. And so what we have here is a completely functional metadata browser that makes it easy for you to explore all of these different relationships. Let's go back to the first tab and select a custom application, the standard Lightning Sales application, and view those dependencies. And you can see that nothing refers to the application, but the application refers to many, many other objects, including custom objects, record types, custom tabs, and Flexi pages. Now, this view might be a little bit overwhelming. So what you can do is go to the Asset Groups button and say, I want to create a group of assets when there's more than one of them. And now when you click OK, you get a totally concise view of this custom application, and you can see the custom objects, the record types, the custom tabs, all in a group. And now you can click to open up any one of these groups if you need to investigate what's inside. So this makes it very, very easy to consolidate these complex diagrams into just the information that you're interested in. And of course, you can double-click the custom application and go through all of these individual links, the opportunity object, these record types, these custom tabs, and these Flexi pages. So it makes it very easy to understand all of these relationships. Now I want to show you just a few other advanced features. You can right-click any asset and choose to export the asset. That will export the actual file that can be included in a Salesforce DX project or a developer project or added to a repository for deployment. You can also right-click and choose to export the job list. And what this will do will create a job list of the selected application and all of the dependent assets that then you can import into our deployment engine. Lastly, you can right-click and choose to export a picture, and you can create a picture of this as PNG, JPEG, Photoshop, or GIF. And this is super useful for engineering meetings, for presentations, or just for documentation and compliance. All right, there's a quick look at the impact analysis report.